Hello strangers, welcome to 25-Hour Hotel Dubai. My name is Timo, I'm the culinary director of the property. I prepared some nice journey for you to learn something about how to make nice and beautiful dishes without any fuss, easy to execute, few steps only. So if you're interested in this, follow me. Hi guys, so today we will do Wiener Schnitzel, German word, very difficult to pronounce, but at the end of the day you could do that with any kind of thing. It's basically a breaded escalope of any kind of meat that you want to do. Today we will take veal and I will guide you a little bit through the process. It won't be too difficult, so don't be scared. It's not like the usual thing you see with a very high skilled and trained thing and at home you will burn the kitchen. Not happening here. So let's get started. Most important thing, since we do potato salad, since we try to be a little bit healthy at least, we need to get our potatoes cooked. So this one here are raw, right? So we're taking these 3 potatoes and I have here some salt. We put this in the water. Don't be scared, it can be plenty of salt because the flavor will go into the potatoes and you're not drinking the water, so that will be totally fine. So you're taking this one, this we put on the side. So while this one is boiling, and we let it boil a little bit faster here because you guys obviously have no time, so we hurry up a little bit. Next crucial step, what we do in between, we have some beef stock. Obviously if you do the same thing with chicken, you take chicken stock, vegetable stock. You could even make a tofu schnitzel if you want to, that's totally up to you. So we put this one in a bowl, very simple. Put some main ingredients, what we have here, some sea salt for seasoning inside. Next part will be then some vinegar. You can do whatever vinegar you want to use. We use apple cider here because everyone knows, people say it's healthy, so just try that part. And most important thing, since it's German or Austrian dish, however people are fighting where it's actually originating from, mustard, very key ingredient for most of the German dishes. You put just everything in there and you let this simmer for a while. So we're giving this some kick as well, so that will be boiling. This needs to be hot and this one will go to the potato salad. While all our potatoes and all this thing is going to happen, we will basically start here with the meat. This is supposedly later on the last thing that you do because that goes pretty quick. For the meat we have here basically our veal escalopes. It's already portioned a little bit. You can buy these ready to roll in any supermarket. You can buy a big piece and cut whatever size you want. This one is the most violent part of the recipe, so I think we do it at the start so you can work through your shock through the time. So you take whatever your meat here. I will take now 2 pieces. You can do whatever portion, however many people you want to feed. At the end it doesn't matter. You can take any sealed bag, you can use cling wrap, whatever you have lying around, because else it will get a little bit messy. So you put your meat in between and then you need to pound it. So obviously if you go to a professional kitchen there will be a meat hammer or whatever things you use for this. Obviously most people don't have this at home, but do not worry, I have a perfect solution for you. So you can pretty much use whatever you have in your environment. It shouldn't be breaking easy. You could use, for example, a simple water bottle full of water, doesn't break that easy. You can take this, you can hammer the meat like that, no problem. Maybe a bit scary because if you have too much power the glass shatters, your kitchen is a mess. You don't want to have this, put it aside. Let's take a more safe way. For sure you have a second pan. Everyone has at least 2 pans here or in any household. So you use your pan and then you just give it a smack. With this one, very easy. Ideally it should be even. So it will take you a little bit. So that's already it, as violent as it gets. So see, these are nice, these are flattened. You take it up from here. Then, important part, you give this thing a bit seasoning. I use some sea salt here, but you can also use whatever else you have on a regular basis. Seasoning the meat first is a very crucial part because else it will just taste a little bit like breadcrumbs. so you can just take a bread roll as well, will not be a difference. So here we have some more sea salt on this one. This part you will do on both of the sides. Taking a pan off here. So if your meat is seasoned, next part that you would need is breadcrumbs. This one you can buy ready to roll. You can do bought in the supermarket, should not be the super rough one, a bit fine. We have here some squirreled eggs, whole eggs that is, and some normal plain regular flour. So this one here, in professional terms you would call it an egg wash. So you take your meat, you put it both sides here in the flour, drizzle this off a little bit, you dip it once in here. You should make sure not your whole hand is there, because else your hands will look like a chicken finger later on with all covered in all the breadcrumbs. So here the part is to be gentle. You just turn it both sides around, you make sure the whole thing is covered. Tap it a little bit, don't push it less crazy, because this will not give you the result that you want later. It should be a bit fluffy. So this is the whole thing, will look like this later on. So this we do now 2 times, here also with the other part. Again, dip it a little bit, put it in here. You put your breadcrumbs, you tap it a little bit, you turn it around, do the same procedure. And with this one, your meat is pretty much already prepped. So this is already through the line, we are almost done putting these things on the side. The meat you will use later. So now, since usually potatoes need about 30 minutes, but you guys don't have time, so we make it very easy. Look what a surprise, our potatoes are already done, ready, boiled, and be ready to use. So we will use them now straight out of the thing. Depends how much kitchen experience you have. You use your tongue, you use your fingers, you can use pretty much whatever you want to use. These should be not boiled till to extension, should be still a little bit crunchy, because else later you will have an issue that you'll not be able to cope up and you will have mashed potato instead of a salad. You take these, you can use obviously gloves, you can use whatever, however hard you are. For me, no problem, I'm doing this stiff like long enough. So you basically just peeling your potatoes here on the side. It's very easy, goes very quick. Cut it in just with a small knife, going around there. Potato is, by the way, very staple thing. So obviously if you don't like the salad version, there's also the more modern things. You can eat this schnitzel with pretty much whatever you have. You can use French fries, you can make a little bit a healthy version out of it. You put some vegetable, you can eat it with actually pretty much whatever you want to eat it. So here, this one we will throw on the side, we don't need this. So then the potatoes pretty much depends on the size. If you have the medium size, you can just use them and you just simply cut like bigger chunks. No worries, they will break through a bit depending on what potatoes you use. Ideally you will have the medium cooking one, a bit starchy, not a hard cooking one, because they will be too crunchy later on and they will not absorb all the flavor as you need to have it. So while this one is still warm and all ready, so we have here on the side obviously our marination that we did before with the mustard, with all the ingredients inside. So from here you will basically put the potatoes straight inside. You can use your knife, you can use whatever you have around. This one is totally up to you, because at the end cooking is a bit like living in the moment. So don't be prepared too much, don't make too much worries about it. If it looks a bit messy, it looks a bit messy. This is what it is. So you have this part in here, you will put just a little bit more salt in the whole thing. You can add to the salad whatever you want to add. You want to put you want to put bacon, you want to put tofu, you want to put whatever, feel free. Be your own chef, do what you need to do. On the other side, the only thing that needs to be added here, so we take some fresh parsley. So this is basically the main thing. You just give this a nicely rough chop. You can do it fine, you can try to be a Michelin star chef if you're good enough in cutting skills. You take this one, throw it in the pot, and that's pretty much it. You give this whole thing a little bit of stir and you let the potatoes sit in there. So this needs about like 5 minutes. They will soak up all the good stuff from the marination you have. While this one is soaking here, we will fire up the pan. So for the schnitzel itself, you take some vegetable oil, whatever you use. In this case here we use sunflower oil. So the point here is you need to put plenty in the pan, it should not be less. Also, since we have the oil already, we will mix a little bit in our salad. And while the pan is heating up, to save some time again, because you guys don't have any, we will just roughly chop the cucumber. This will go very quick, you just make some slices. You can do it with the skin ideally. If you don't like the skin, you peel it off. It's not necessary to do. You throw this whole cucumber thing within here. And that's pretty much your salad finished. Give it a little bit pepper here as well, so this one can work with the marination. And that's it. So now we wait a little bit. It should be hot, you can see it in the pan as well. If the pan is hot enough, it should usually not bubble anymore on this one. You can also take these usual tests. You take some water, you flip it in. If it already bubbles and sparkles and it almost burns you, that means it's hot enough, but it should not be the case. All right, so then you take here, before you put the schnitzel in, crucial part to get the fluffy things, you take butter. Can be just like some pre-cooked one. It should be plenty of it, so the ratio is usually almost half the butter, then you have the oil, and then you put in your escallops. After this, you will go down a little bit with the heat, and the most important thing is this one needs constant movement. So you will just swirl it around. Big pan is definitely an advantage here. If the small pan, it will spill over, you have a mess. So no need for the whole thing. So while this one here is frying from one side a bit, you can also do this very famous thing that you see in the most TV cooking shows, and you can use your spoon, you can roll it over. If you want to be fancy, do it, feel free. Not necessary to get the flavor, it doesn't bring anything, it will just look a little bit cooler, but obviously you don't need this. So yeah, if you would smell it already, you would know the Germans are probably in the door, waiting already. You can see some behind the windows over there, and just waiting till the restaurant opens. Because obviously, so now it's not a complicated dish, but you may be too scared that, it's still too complicated for me, I'm too lazy, I don't want to do it. Not an issue at all. You want to try exactly this stuff, you just can come over to us. Basically, we have a restaurant doing exactly the same thing, one of the best in town, I would say as well. You can try it out here, so no worries. So you can say you tried this dish that I saw there without even cooking it, make a picture, put it on Instagram, you'll be cool, and that's pretty much it. So you turn this around after it's golden brown, and then again, it's pretty much about swirling. So here you need to check. The butter obviously starts to get brown, this gives you a lot of flavor, but it should not get too hot, because else your schnitzel will burn. And it's more about swirling it and swirling it till it gets the nice things. Then you also will hear that nice sound, sizzling good. You can smell a lot of aromas going on here, and obviously butter is always something good that you can use. So this is pretty much it. So we're almost done. So now it's about plating our dish. Let me get one plate over here. So we put this one here. You take your schnitzels out. You can tap it, as you see, the golden brown on both the sides. Just here on top, these are the air bubbles all going up. So this is totally fine. You basically just strip it off a little bit. So this would be the meat. You put this pan over there. So then you give your salad a last mix. Obviously the excessive liquid that you have here is not a problem. You can keep it for the next time. You can use it for any other salad dressing. So you don't need to throw anything. You put your salad on the side of this one, which we will just do very roughly here. So that would be this. And matching ingredient at the end, you just take a lemon. If you have guests at home, you serve it a bit nice. If you're just alone at home, you take this lemon, you just give it a squeeze on top here. It's nice, it's lemony, whatever. And so here, this is the first simple dish. You have your Wiener Schnitzel, veal escalope, Austrian dish, German dish. Everyone likes it, even the kids. Very good alternative. So now we will see if I did everything right. So I have to try this. Cut a bit of this one here. It looks good. It tastes good. Amazing.